Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of State Champs Chat. I'm Stephanie, and Kiara and Lauren aren't here this week, so I'm here with Kyle.
A very, very pretty fill-in, I must say myself.
Yes, and remember, this is your show, guys. We're going to talk about what's trending in sports. And of course, we're going to start off with what's trending, and we're going to talk about FIFA this week.
Well, there's a lot going on. Unfortunately, corruption apparently seems to be the theme of FIFA right now. You wonder where the future of soccer is going to be. I mean, you already have people testifying, saying that, yes, FIFA accepted bribes. There were millions of dollars exchanging hands. They detailed what games, what year, when it was going on. So with all that going on, and then also, you know, it was funny watching on Twitter, talk about what's trending, obviously. On Twitter, it was all happening at like 12:30, 1 a.m. our time. Here in the Eastern time zone, and it was just like they're going into the hotel, the investigators are all there, who are they going to take away? It looked like they were taking away the vice president. It was high drama, and you know, when soccer is trying to get big here in the United States, that is not what the sport of soccer needs.
No, this isn't really the PR that it needs in the U.S.
I would not say so.
The president got reelected and then just resigned yesterday.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting too. Who is going to be capable of taking over? Because I believe his right-hand man was somebody that they were looking at the game of soccer, whether it be the women, men, whoever. They were looking at him to take over. And you know, if he was a part of this or knew about any of this, no, that's going to be a problem. It's kind of like, you know, Lions fans, some won't ever trust Martin Mayhew just because he worked under Matt Millen. That could be the case for FIFA right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a bad rap that they've gotten the past couple weeks in the U.S., so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Next, we're going to talk about our athlete of the week, and first we are talking about Maya Roberts this week. She's a hurdler at Harrison High School. She won the Oakland County Championship in the 100-meter for her third consecutive year a couple weeks ago, and then she just won the state championship this past weekend.
You ever know any hurdlers in high school?
I didn't.
I did. One of my best friends actually was a hurdler, and obviously tremendous accomplishment. We should applaud her. But my friend, I give them credit because, well, especially as a male, the degree of difficulty when you're trying to get over those little hurdles, I mean, if you're not careful, and he fell over multiple times. I think he went to the hospital like 7 times with concussions and stuff. I could never do that. I would be way too worried. And they just do it like in stride too. They don't worry about jumping over. Exactly. It's just like another stride,
and
just like you're running.
Her coach and parents said, you know, what a way to end her high school career.
It's phenomenal.
So congrats, Maya. You're our athlete of the week this week. And now, since Kyle's here, he normally does our recruit report on State Champs. We're going to talk a little bit about recruiting today. Yeah,
it never stops. You know, obviously football season doesn't begin until the fall, but Michigan did pick up another commitment in the 2016 class. We're talking about Detroit Cass Tech. Offensive lineman Michael Onwenu, 6'3", 365 pounds, all muscle, obviously. Now, that a young man with a great frame, good build, and he's going to really bring some power to that offensive line. Looks like he might be an offensive guard at Michigan. He was known for being a defensive tackle and kind of being that nose tackle in the middle of the defense, but looks like he's going to be the offensive line. That's the 7th commitment for Michigan in that 2016 class, and now they're up to, I believe, the 23rd overall class according to Scout.com's rankings.
Yeah, and they said this is probably giving momentum to Michigan recruiting right now.
Well, a little bit, and you know, they're hosting a lot of kids. They have this Fab 25 is what they're calling the 2016 class. They want to get 25 kids and 25 of the best kids in the entire country. They hosted top 8 2017 kids as well, so they're trying to build early relationships with a lot of these kids in the state of Michigan. I think they've been able to get kids that they really wanted and that they identified early, but at the same time, you look at the 2015 class, the early makings of the 2016 class, specifically with the quarterback, they missed on some guys. So I think they're trying to, you know, I think a lot of kids are still wondering what's going to happen this fall. What kind of a coach is he? How difficult are things going to be, you know, inside the program? And I think once they see that, I think Michigan could get on a roll and start getting some more commits.
They said he's also one of the biggest linemen in recent Michigan history.
He's huge. I mean, it's unbelievable. He might be just a little shy of 6'3" and maybe a little less than 365, but still, if you're in the 6'2", 300-pound range, you're a big kid.
Yeah. Can't wait to see him walking around campus. Everyone's going to spot him from a mile away. Speaking of Michigan and Michigan State recruiting, let's talk about their in-state recruiting a little bit.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like this topic comes up every time there's a coaching change, because fans will be like, oh, he's not showing enough attention to the kids in the state of Michigan. Is he going to take care of the kids that are at home? And usually you look at the track record, whether it be Michigan or Michigan State, they're not taking more than 3 or 4 kids in the state of Michigan. Now, there are exceptions. When you have, 12 kids that are all, earning high BCS offers, really, really talented, then maybe you'll see where, a school will take 5 or take 6, something like that. That's usually the exception to the rule. Usually it's 3 kids, it's 4 kids here, but there are people in the state of Michigan, the Metro Detroit area, that are like, he's going national. He's offering all these kids in California and Florida and Texas, and now they're doing these satellite camps that everyone's been talking about so much. So they're really scouring the country trying to find the best as far as Michigan is concerned. And I just don't think it's any different than what we've seen in the past. I think, they're targeting the top kids in the state of Michigan. When you talk about a kid like we did with Michael Onwenu, that's one of the kids. And I think Michigan and Michigan State are picking and choosing which ones they want. We saw Demetric Vance commit to the Spartans just a few weeks ago, also from Detroit Cass Tech, and one of those, I think you put in the top 5, top 8, type of deal in the state of Michigan. So they're going to identify the top kids, take those. If they miss on some others across the country, then they'll come back and make sure that they have those other kids in the pecking order.
Speaking of camps, you mentioned briefly, June is a huge month for camps.
It's unbelievable. And you're going to start hearing a lot more names, especially in that 2017 class. There's a few kids that you want to talk about. Another kid out of Detroit Cass Tech, Jalen Kelly Powell, just visited Michigan. Michigan State's up there as well. Ohio State will be a school that he'll visit. He's a 6', 6'1", very muscular cornerback, especially given his very young age. An athletic kid. Looks like he's going to improve as years go on, but he's going to go to Sound Mind, Sound Body. He's going to go to the Michigan football camp, going to get a lot of exposure this summer. That's a kid you definitely want to watch moving forward. Another kid, Warren De La Salle, running back, Alan Stritzinger. An interesting running back because he can do so many different things. He kind of reminds me of Drake Johnson, a kid from Ann Arbor Pioneer that we saw just explode onto the scene. He earned a late offer from Michigan late in the process. So that's a kid that you certainly want to keep an eye on moving forward. But there's going to be a bunch that come out of the woodwork. KJ Hamler from Orchard Lake St. Mary's is another one, a speedster, playmaker, little undersized. He's going to need to put on weight, but you can say that about a lot of these kids. But he's a kid too that looks like could blow up, especially in that setting, non-padded. That's where he's going to excel.
Who do you think conflicts the most over kids in the state of Michigan?
As far as
do you think Michigan State conflict over recruiting the same guys, or Ohio State is thrown in the bunch? I feel like I hear a lot about Ohio State and Michigan clashing heads over recruits, but
I think you have. Ohio State in recent years has really hit Detroit hard. And that's something that has been very interesting to watch. But Ohio State can pretty much come and get whoever they want because they were the big kid in town. They didn't, Brady Hoke clearly wasn't working in Ann Arbor, and Ohio State could feed on that because Urban Meyer has a track record, and they obviously just went on to win a national championship. So when Ohio State comes a knocking and they want Damon Webb, and he's the best player in the state, they're going to get Damon Webb. Now, Michigan State, because of their success, especially in recent seasons, they've been able to get those kids. You see, Malik McDowell type, number 1 player in the state. Those kids are starting to go to Michigan State and starting to see, wow, Michigan State's taking kids that are maybe a little under the radar and they're putting them in the NFL. And that's something that is becoming more and more appealing. So you are starting to see Michigan and Michigan State collide for, some of these top kids. I think it'll be more like that moving forward.
Definitely. It is now time to talk about some hot topics. And a really hot topic this week is Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, Steph, I work on a different schedule than most people based on my career. So I woke up Monday afternoon about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the first 4 things I see on Facebook is a picture from Vanity Fair, obviously, and it's "Call Me Caitlyn." And obviously you got to click on it. It's just what you have to do. And Caitlyn Jenner, we knew this day was coming.
We did.
And, obviously I saw the interview. Everyone wants to complain about it. I watched the whole 2 hours.
I did too.
I watched the Keeping Up with the Kardashians part 1 and part 2.
I didn't see that.
Well, then I guess I'm a bigger loser than you, I guess. But I woke up and I saw that, and it was just unbelievable. And I actually got text messages, and one was from you, actually. No, I'm just kidding. But I had some of my girlfriends texting me, and they were just like, they sent me a picture of Caitlyn Jenner, and they said, why does she look better than me? And honestly, I think even as a male, I can say I was expecting the worst.
I was blown away. I really was. Especially, I guess I didn't really, after the Diane Sawyer interview, I didn't fully grasp it. I think it's hard for people to grasp. Bruce Jenner was an Olympic athlete. Someone of that caliber, it's kind of hard to grasp, and the cover really blew me away.
Obviously airbrushing has something to do with it, but let's just be honest.
And a lot of surgeries.
Well, clearly, and more to come, I think.
There was 10 facial reconstruction surgeries, part of a feminization process, I guess. So, it didn't come easy.
I think the thing that makes it difficult to grasp is Bruce Jenner was like that was what everyone wanted to be when they were kids.
Right.
He was the ultimate athlete, you know, this American that, you know, just beat everyone in the world at so many different events, and this world-class athlete. I mean, that would be for us, you know, like right now, like if Tom Brady, you know, 20 years from now has the same feeling all the time, it'd be weird. You know, it would definitely be different, and I don't think it's a negative for people to be able to say, okay, this is awkward. It's going to take time for me to get used to this, to accept this. But, you know, it is what it is.
Hopefully it brings good publicity to the transgender community.
Absolutely.
Even though a lot of people are kind of concerned with how much the media is
well,
eating it up.
It's that, and then, you know, now you're starting to see, like, I think she's going to win an ESPY for courage and all that, and people are making petitions that they should give it to a Navy SEAL or something like that.
Right.
And, now there's a petition out there to take away Bruce Jenner's gold medal from 1976.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, my parents graduated high school in 1976. Sorry, Mom and Dad. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And obviously he earned it. Why would we even consider that?
Yeah, that shouldn't be brought into question.
It screams of prejudice, in my opinion, and just for, you know, a reason for people to complain.
Now we're going to head to what is normally Kiara's favorite subject, score or fumble. Each week we pick a subject and say if we think it's a score or fumble, and we want you guys to tweet at us. Remember, tweet us ideas and tell us if you think these subjects are a score or fumble. So this week we're going to talk about car races. The Grand Prix just took place in Belle Isle in Detroit this weekend. So what do you think about the Grand Prix car races?
I'm going to go with score. I'm not a huge car racing guy. I think it's one of those things that you have to go to it in order to really appreciate what it is. Yeah, exactly. Like as a kid, my dad would always take us to NASCAR events, and when you're there, the energy is so unbelievable. Awesome. The reason I say it's a score is only because on television, it looked great. I mean, what they were able to do on Belle Isle in the city of Detroit, and there's a lot of people that work so hard to make these events happen, and unfortunately the weather just did not cooperate. So maybe they didn't get as many people there as they wanted. There weren't enough people downtown spending money and, you know, helping the city, but I thought it was a great event. It's just unfortunate that the weather didn't help. I'm
going to say fumble. For safety reasons, it freaks me out a little, but I think I would appreciate it more if I attended one.
If you could ride along in an Indy car like a NASCAR.
I might have a heart attack.
Okay, let's remember this. State champs, we're eventually going to do a feature with Stephanie riding shotgun. We're going to film the whole thing.
Now we're going to head to our clip of the week. We want you guys to send us clips of the week. Remember, sometimes we choose high school clips, so let us know. And this week it is an awesome clip of Hamilton. Josh Hamilton, who is on the Texas Rangers, got a walk-off double against the Red Sox and just gets completely drenched with a bucket of Gatorade, along with the sideline reporter that was interviewing him.
Are you watching that clip, and I think we'll have her here in a second, watching that clip, aren't you excited for the day when you're going to be in that position and just get a giant...
It's funny you say that. This weekend I was sideline reporting a baseball game. It was a youth baseball game, and someone did it to the player I was interviewing, and I dodged it. But then after seeing this video, I was like, yeah, this is going to happen to me one day, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. She handled it well. She was like, I should have seen that coming.
Well, I mean, it's all in good fun, you know? That's what it's all about. It's okay.
All right, guys, don't forget State Champs is this weekend on Fox Sports Detroit at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. We have a special feature on a Celine golf player that I did. It's a really awesome story, so make sure to tune in. And also updates in our UAW Chrysler softball and baseball player of the year contest, as well as our Piranhas lacrosse player of the year contest. So make sure to tune in, and thanks for joining us. Thanks, Kyle.
Had a fun time.